Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and from Idaho here in the United States. And during this lesson, we are going to talk about household problems. So, have you ever had a situation where you're staying in somebody's home abroad and you run into a problem? Those are the types of things that we will be talking about. It's problems that you might have in your home. And hello again, Greg.
Hi
So,
again.
yeah, I was I totally lost track of time. It would have been fun to hear what countries the Europeans wanted to go to. So, I mean South Americans, and then also the countries you guys would all want to go to in the last class, But anyway, so, but we ran out of time, and I always shift gears. So,
Yes.
but it's harder to shift gears sometimes when you have go from traveling to household problems. So. Hey Carlos,
Hi,
nice
teacher.
to see you. Nice to see you again. So,
Also.
yeah, all right. Yeah, well, the topic for this hour will be on household problems. The last hour we talked about traveling and also problems in a hotel, and this time we will be talking about your home and problems that you might experience at home. So fairly similar, but then slightly different. So there'll be some similar vocabulary and some different. Hello, Carolina. How are you today? Hello, Carolina.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Good. Very good. So, and have you had a good day today?
Yes, teacher. I have. Thanks for
Excellent.
asking.
And it's 6 o'clock in Bogota, right? Right?
Yes,
6 p.m. And
6 p.m.
Carlos, you're from Bogota as well. And Greg, it's midnight now in the UK, right?
It's midnight.
Okay,
Definitely.
excellent. All right. So, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the home during this hour and household problems that you might have. So, first question for you before we talk about different problems. Could you tell what kind of home do you live in? Do you live in an apartment, in a house? Is it large? Is it small? So, Carlos, can you describe where you live?
Right. I live in a house.
Mm-hmm.
It has 2 floors. It's a little bit big, yes, of course. And it has 4 rooms, one garage,
Mm-hmm.
one yard. This is
Mm-hmm.
covered by the roof.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a normal house in very quiet neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. Um, and uh, Carlina, how about you? Can you describe where you live?
My home is a single family house.
Mm-hmm.
It has wooden floors, white walks,
Hello.
walls.
White walls. Hi, Zayed.
Hi.
Uh,
Hi, Holly. How are you?
good, good. Carlina is answering question. One moment. So it has white walls and
And 4 bedrooms too.
4 bedrooms.
Yeah, two
Mm-hmm.
garage cover, cover,
Mm-hmm.
cover. Um, and a small garden.
Mm-hmm.
And one living room, one dining room, one kitchen, and no more teacher,
All
and
right.
for toilets.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Carlina. And Zayed, nice to see you again. Right now we're talking about household problems. So I'm having everybody describe the home that they live in. So, Greg, could you tell us? Could you describe where you live?
So there's a flat in the house. Because there are two flats.
Mm-hmm.
Upstairs there's nobody who lives there. Are living on the first floor. So living with my parents, so there are like 2 bedrooms, so 1 living room, kitchen, bathroom, who has only shower. There is no bathtub, which is horrible for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. There's also like there's no garden actually. There's if you go out from it, it's like, how do you say it? Asphalt or something. It's like you have a fence, but there's no grass. Everything it's like a pavement. Oh, pavement would be a good word. So.
Yeah, pavement is British English. Yeah, asphalt or pavement.
Or sidewalk, if you if we call it. It's from the same material like sidewalk, so absolutely there's no
Asphalt.
way. Yeah.
Or cement. Cement would be another one. You have a cement
yeah.
block. Yeah.
Cement block.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it's adequate, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Zayed, how about you? Can you describe where you live?
I live in a small apartment. It has 1 bedroom, a small kitchen, and a bathroom, and of course a dining room and a living room. My apartment is in 2nd floor. I live in a good community, a very nice complex, safe, and very good people around my apartment.
All right, thank you. Excellent. And as some of you know, I just moved about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I moved into what we call a triplex. And a triplex is where there's basically 3 apartments right next to each other. So 3 different. It's a building. Instead of a duplex, actually has 2 houses connected, and a triplex has 3 homes connected. And so I live actually in the end of triplex, the end building, or the end room, end apartment that has it's actually the biggest, and it has 3 small bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room, a very tiny dining room, and a fairly large kitchen. And so, and I have a nice yard for the dog, which is really nice. It's a small yard, so I won't need to really get a big. I won't have to do much maintenance on it, which is really nice. The bedrooms are very, very tiny, and in some respects, it would probably have been better to have 2 bedrooms where they combined 2 of the rooms, because that's how small they are. But it works definitely for me. I have a 1 bedroom and a bath. I call it my guest room with an ensuite, so that people can come and use it and have their own bathroom. And then I use the other bedroom other room is my office, and the other room is my bedroom. So I'm very, very happy with it, and still have not decorated. So I'm still trying to decide on how everything should look. So, but I'm very happy with it though. But I have had problems, and so let's go ahead and talk about problems in your home.
Can I ask a question about the United States? Can you tell me if row houses are popular, row houses?
But they're not called row houses. They're called townhomes.
Townhomes.
Yeah. So a row house is we either call it a townhome or a townhouse. But it's not a townhouse or a townhome. It is in the bigger cities. You'll see it just like in London. I remember seeing a lot in London. Yeah. And you'll see them also in the bigger cities. You don't see it as much. You do see them around, but they're not as common as single-family dwellings. I would say that the most everybody lives in a single-family dwelling or duplex or apartment. So the housing is slightly different, but not that much. So.
Hey, Holly, I have another question. What's the difference between an apartment and a condo? What's the difference?
Okay, the difference in America, in the U.S., it's more of a cultural thing. In the U.S., if you live in an apartment, it means everyone in the building is renting. Okay, and they're renting to the same people, so they have the exact same landlords. So I live in a triplex, and I'm renting that. So the two neighbors, the two people that live in the other two apartments, they pay their rent to the same people as me. And that is in the States. If you have an apartment building, that is the situations. It's not necessarily like that away from the U.S. And a condo is usually they're much nicer apartments. They're very closer to townhouses. A lot of times they have garages along with them and so forth. But the difference between a condo and an apartment in most respects is the ownership. With a condo, you own the stock in the building, and you own the building, or you own that part of the building, and so you're one of the owners of the building. So when you pay the mortgage, you pay to the bank if you pay anything. So that is the difference between a condo and the condo. Sometimes people will rent out their condos, and so if you have a bunch of people who are living in a condo and all are paying rent, they are paying rent to different people.
Yeah.
Teacher,
Yes.
teacher, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Teacher, tell us about the price now of the houses in the U.S.
Okay.
Because
well,
I know that the economy is recovering there.
Uh-huh.
So
So it really depends on the community you're living in. And I know more about the rental prices than I do the housing prices. Um, and it depends on if you're closer to closer to a big city, you're going to end up paying a lot more for rent or for the home than if you're in a rural area. For example, and of course this is a very old example, but it's one that I've told to students for many years. Back in, I think it was maybe about maybe 1996 or 1997, my sister bought a 2-bedroom house in rural Kansas for $8,000. The same house, if it were in a big city, would have gone for maybe $60,000. So it's really hard to say ask the real estate market, because every area of the U.S. is different, and some are very expensive, and some you can get real estate for what we say dirt cheap. Does that make sense?
okay, teacher.
Yeah. So she moved from Kansas. She moved up to Idaho in 2001. She sold her home in Kansas and bought a place in Idaho for $20,000, and it was also very, very cheap. Nowadays, I don't think you can find houses like that, but usually they're about $40,000 to $60,000. And those are small, really cheap, really small starter homes. In this area, I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the prices, but you can find the average family home with 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, 2 baths would probably be $150,000, all the way up to $500,000, depending on everything. So, and that's it, just in this area.
It's the same here in Texas.
Yeah. So, yeah, Texas is. It probably depends on the area of Texas as well. So, some parts of Texas are really expensive, and some are probably dirt cheap. So, but I haven't been to Texas yet, so I don't know. But All right, so let's go ahead and match the problems with the possible reasons below. So Carolina, you've been quiet, so let's have you start first. Can you choose one of these problems and choose the solution?
Okay. The first one is I have to do the laundry by hand because the washing machine has broken down.
Okay, so the washing machine has broken down, so you have to do the laundry by hand. Have you ever done that before on Carolina?
Yes, teacher.
I stopped myself. Have you,
Yes.
so you have done your laundry by hand?
Yes. One time because the washing machine has blocked.
You would say that because the washing machine broke, because you're doing
No,
simple
blocked.
parts.
Blocked with some kind of how can I say? I guess clothes
Uh-huh.
in one pipe.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, blocked.
Blocked. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a the washing machine was blocked with some clothes. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to call to the technician,
Uh-huh.
and he gave me a date for I don't know, maybe 2 days. So I have to do one time.
So you only had to do it one time.
Mhm.
That's good. That's
Yes,
good.
yes.
Yeah.
One time in life is good.
Yeah, it's good to experience, but but you're thankful you don't have to do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hello, David. Nice to see you.
Hello, Holly. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very
Great.
good. So, all right. So, David, question
Yes,
for you. We have, can you match one of these causes with a problem?
sure. I cut my lip while drinking coffee. The cup was chipped. Letter
Has
C.
that ever happened to you, David?
Lucky for me, no. But I remember that
Mm-hmm.
was, in fact, maybe a couple of years ago. I was drinking some orange juice,
Mm-hmm.
and after finishing drinking my orange juice, I realized that my glass was chipped.
Oh,
So
wow.
so I threw it away, and I'm not sure if I swallowed some glass or something, but I'm still alive. So I guess it
Yeah.
was. If it was a little bit.
Yeah, so if it was a glass shard that did nothing to you, so
Right, I guess
um,
so.
yeah, okay, excellent, thank you. Greg, can you match one of these?
So I think the lights are out, which was happened to me today in
Okay.
at 4 a.m. So all of the lights. So I just try to turn on lights, and I just hear the sounds like explosion. I look at the light bulb, and I know it's gone. So what was happened? I noticed that all of the lights actually do not work in this flat, and of course in this case, every time what is happening, I hear the sound of the alarm. So I have to first what I have to do, I have to went to this device. First what I did, I didn't know because it was happened for the first time, so I accidentally reset all of the settings of this device, and later I see, okay, you have to turn on the key and later press mute or silence, and it was fine. But actually, at 9 a.m. I have to wait about. Uh, I think when I was calling to 9 a.m. to agency, they told me I should wait for the person who will fix it, and he will come about. It was 3 or 4 p.m. So when he done it very quickly, but one of the things that I noticed that all of the cable that was for the light is actually burned because he have to replace it, and all of the lights he have to change the fuse. But the,
Wow.
yeah, but the thing is, I didn't know exactly. We looking at one of the boxes with the fuse, and we we're thinking, okay, we have to just switch on and all of them, but it didn't work. And later he showed me that you have to take a screwdriver, unscrew the screw, and later you have to change the fuse. But those kind of fuse I saw for the first time, and there was a couple of them. But I'm happy it was done today, even if I have to wait 6 hours for someone who will come.
Yeah, and so what in this? What was that? What was the purpose for? I mean, the reason, the cause for that, the reason. Is it on this list?
Just a second, because I have to. There has been a power cut. It wasn't a power cut. It was more like, it's a power cut. Because the power.
It was a problem with the fuses, then, right?
Yeah. Yes, but similar situation, but.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so similar situation, but a power cut I think is a more common reason. But yeah.
Because the funny thing was, I saw it for the first time. All of the outlets works. All of the devices, Kato, computers, all of them works. TV set, but only lights didn't work. So I don't know.
Oh, so only what worked?
Lights didn't work, and all outlets, sockets, sockets that you plug the devices, all of them work, but only lights didn't work. So
the light. Oh wow! So it was definitely a fuse issue.
Yes.
So, all right. Yeah. And David asked a good question on the chat. There's been a power outage. Or a power cut, is there any difference? And there is no difference. You can say a power outage or a power cut. But with Greg's situation, it was definitely a fuse issue. So
there's one question, because I don't remember exactly. I saw in the dictionary, fuse using, it was like a fuse, but it wasn't by using the S letter, it was Z letter, fuse.
And that's American
English.
Spell it with a Z.
I noticed that.
We do a lot of those things. It's kind of weird. So anyway, Ziad, can you do number 5? I mean, not number 5. Can you do one of these? Match one of these. So any of them you want to do.
The toilet won't flush.
Okay.
There is a leaking pipe.
Okay, actually, a leaking pipe would not be correct. Usually, if a toilet won't flush, it's because it is blocked.
Okay.
Okay, but sometimes there are leaking pipes with toilets. I do agree with you, but the reason is blocked. So, Carlos, could you match one of these?
I can open the door. The reason could be, let me see. The handle has come off.
The handle has come off. That reminds me of my car door. The driver's side, I cannot open the driver's side from the inside. So I have to keep the car running, roll the power windows down, open the door, roll the power windows up, and then turn the car off.
Many steps, teacher.
Yeah, many steps. I'm not, and many times I'll turn the car off and I'll try to open the door and I'll go shoot, and then I have to turn it on again. Has anybody ever experienced that where your car door just will not open from the inside? Or is that just me? I think it's the weird things.
It's only you, Holly.
That's what I thought.
That's not true.
Actually, I loaned the car out to my sister, and she had it for 3 weeks, and it came back like that. So, but yeah, I always get the weird situations. Though it's really kind of funny. I think I take after my mom. She also has weird issues as well. So, all right. Carlos, have you matched? Carlos, have you already done one?
I'm here, teacher. I wanted to choose another.
Yeah. I'm calling you on
Okay.
a second time in a row, only because I'm not thinking straight right now. So
Uh, okay. I can't turn on the laptop, so the reason is the battery is dead.
the battery is dead, yes. And I have run into a problem. As you guys know, I moved, and I have come down to the valley from the mountains to help my family out because there's several family members moving this weekend. And so I thought, okay, I'll just come and teach from a friend's house. And I pull out my laptop, and my laptop, everything is there except for the cord that plugs it into the computer. So I'm like going, oh, I hope I make it. But it looks like there's 48 minutes left on this, so I'll make it through this class. And then I've got to drive over to somebody's house and borrow their cord because the person here, their cord isn't working, and I've got a really interesting situation. So, because I don't want to drive the 2 hours up the mountain to get my cord. So, so I've got that similar situation right now. Carolina, can you do that? Do one.
Oh, I can make cereal for breakfast because the milk is so.
Yes, the milk is off. And so I can't make cereal for breakfast, or I can't make whatever I need the milk for. No, David, the milk is off doesn't mean we're out of milk. What it means is it's sour. And it is British English. In American English, we might say sometimes that it's off, but usually we'll say that
Spoiled.
the milk is sour or the milk is spoiled.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Can I say rotten?
No, we wouldn't say it. Would say that
Fruits?
for milk at all. So for spoiled and sour is what we'll usually do. For something rotten, that would be
Cheese, maybe cheese or a piece of meat, right? Rotten.
rotten meat. Cheese would be more mildewed.
Oh, okay.
Is what would use. I think.
Well, cheese have to be anyways a little because cheese is is the fermentation of milk. That's what it is.
True.
So it has some bacteria in it. So
Exactly. So we usually say this. We also will say the milk is off. It's if something tastes bad, it tastes really strange. We'll say that's
it's
off.
funny.
Yeah,
It tastes funny.
For example, I was at a restaurant. It was probably about a year and a half ago now, and I remember because they have these honey butter that is really really good normally, but it was completely off that day. And I ate it and I went, "What's wrong with this?" And I finally told the waitress, "I think your honey butter's off today." So, all right. Okay, we have one more. David, could you do this one?
Sure. Water is dripping from the ceiling. There must be a leak, right? Okay.
Yep.
There's a leaking pipe, yeah.
Yeah, there's a leaking pipe, yes. Right. Okay, so so which of the problems above have you experienced in the past year? So Ziad, which have you experienced in the past year?
Okay. Maybe I can't open the door. One day when I back home from work, so I wanted to open the door, but it was blocked, or I don't know what's happened. But so I went to the leasing office and I asked him for to send me a technician or someone to help me.
Mm-hmm. And were they able to fix it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And was it the door handle that was broken, or?
I don't know how to call that in English, but this part where we put the key. I don't know how to call that, but it was broken.
Okay, so I can't think of that either. The keyhole. Keyhole is the only thing I can think of. Is what I would use.
Yeah.
There might be a better word for it, but that's all I would ever use. So, Greg, welcome back. Or did you leave? You didn't leave. Who left?
No, I was still here all the time.
You haven't left. Okay, somebody else left. Okay, Greg. So besides you already had the lights. That's happened in the last 24 hours. Have you had anything else here happen in the past year?
So water was dripping from the ceiling. It wasn't really that there was a leaking pipe, but actually, one of the neighbors had some kind of, I would say, a flood in his apartment. So all it was upstairs. So I think it was third floor, fourth floor, and went through to the first floor, and I saw some kind of like. Little holes in the ceiling and it start dripping, and I start to grab some balls and bowls to put in those places, and I I go upstairs to see what was happening, and I was informed that okay, we have a problem upstairs, there's a lot of water, and so nothing really happened, but I wasted too much time panicking because you see it in one room, later you see it in the second room, and there's more, and it didn't stop. So it's kind of really, really bad situation, especially if you have some devices around here close to the water.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you, David. How about you? Which of the problems have you experienced in the past year?
Probably the number 6. I can't turn on the laptop because the battery was dead. And it happens maybe a couple of times because sometimes I use the computer and I do something else and I forget to have the recharger on. And so it's kind of it's inconvenient, but it's not a big deal. What really was a big deal, and it happened 3 or 4 years ago, was there was a leak in my bedroom, and that was really a problem for me because it was during hurricane season, so there was a lot of raining going on in Miami. So so there was a leak coming from we don't know where, so I have to I went to the main office in my condominium and let them know. Somebody came, tried to fix it, never worked. So I have to be in the office 3 times. 3 times they fixed it. Finally, they got it. But by the time they got it fixed. There was like a little bubble on the ceiling. So they damaged the paint on the ceiling. So I have to. So I talked to them, and because the leaking is inside my bedroom, so the condominium doesn't have any responsibility, even though they damaged my ceiling, so I have to do it on my own.
Oh,
so
really?
That was upsetting, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. And then was that a condo?
Yeah, in my condominium, yeah. And I was more, I was concerned because I have to put a towel on the floor because I didn't want to damage my floor either because it was made of it was wood. I don't want the wood to, to get all, what's the word, wobble?
Warped. You didn't want the wood to warp.
Warped. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank
warp.
you. So.
Yeah. And Carlina, how about you? Which of the problems above have you experienced in the past year?
Maybe I can turn off on my laptop because at that time my laptop was old, so I have to change it for a new one.
Okay. So it wasn't because your laptop was dead. It was for another reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And Carlos, how about you? Which of the problems above have you experienced in the past year?
Was a problem with the toilet, not one flush. It happened. No, was different because the water there were continuous moving into a toilet. So the I don't know, all the day here we waste water and water, and we didn't know how to do. It was, I remember that I asked for some person, and first of all he couldn't resolve that problem. So we need to change a pipe. A pipe was a kind of problem for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. And for me, see, in the last year, well, I can't open the door. That's for my car, the inside of my car. I can't turn on the laptop because the battery is dead, and so I've got to get my laptop, of course, is on now, but in another half an hour or 40 minutes, it's not going to be working. So I need to get that fixed. And I've also run into the toilet won't flush; it's blocked, and just in some homes here in the U.S., the plumbing is just not as good as other places. So luckily, I've not run into that in my new place yet. All right, so let's match the possible solutions below to the problems in exercise 1. Okay, so number 1, David, with the
Yes.
problem up here, who which of these problems would you send for a plumber?
Probably the pipes.
Uh-huh.
Any problem with the pipes? Or maybe the toilet won't flush, maybe?
Uh-huh. Yeah, the toilet and the pipes. Perfect.
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right, and Greg, which of these problems would you throw it out?
Throw it out. So I would throw it out probably when I will have a problem with the cup.
Yeah.
The laptop battery is dead. Oh, maybe I can throw it out the battery in the case if it's dead in the laptop. I cannot make cereal for breakfast. In this case, the milk is off, so I should really throw it out immediately because it's not smart to keep it.
Okay, so the cup and the milk definitely you would throw out, and the battery, it depends on what kind of battery it is, whether you would throw it out. Okay, all right. Hello, Anna Carolina. Nice to see you.
Hi, thank you.
All right. So Anna Carolina, we've got these different household problems. A solution would be to plug it in. With these problems, what would you plug in?
I would say plug in my laptop.
Yeah, I think that's the best one. You'd plug in the laptop. Unless, like my problem right now, you don't have the laptop plugger. So I've got to go find one before my next class, and I'm like stressing. So, all right, and let's see. Carolina. So your solution, use a plunger. Do you know what a plunger is?
Yes, I think. Maybe in the toilet?
Yes. And does everybody know what a plunger is?
Plunger.
To clean the water, maybe.
Nope. It's not to clean the water. I'll show you what it is.
It's like a stick that you put it into inside of the toilet and you pull it, and it has like a rubber circle at the end of it.
Yeah, and it sucks. Basically, if the toilet is blocked, it's supposed to cause a suction so the stuff will stop blocking. And this is usually before you call a plumber. The first thing you do is use a plunger. And there's several different kinds of plungers. It was interesting though. In the 11 years I lived in Finland, what do you think of this one?
It's quite funny. I try to say it, but
I was thinking you were laughing at that one, but so in the 11 years I lived in Finland, I never had a toilet go bad on me. I had showers where I had to put plumb, I had showers plug up and get blocked, but I never had a toilet, and I was like very kind of surprised about that. I don't know why that was. So I think I was just lucky. And Carlos, what would you, for a solution, what would you screw back on?
Maybe screw something wrong with the washing machine, maybe?
See, what was the washing machine? I have to do the laundry. Oh, the washing
With the
machine is
washing
broken
machine.
down. Okay, so you may have to screw something on the washing machine, correct?
Yes, maybe. Or with the handle of the on a door.
Yeah, the door handle. Yeah,
Yeah.
both of those, absolutely. Okay, all right. And let's see, Ziad, when would you call a repairman?
When my washing machine has broken down,
Okay. Okay, when you want.
uh,
Uh-huh.
or,
And
or like what happened to me when my door is broken or is
uh-huh.
blocked. So when I can't open my door,
Mhm. Did he use like a WD-40 or a cleaner on that, or what did he do, or did he replace it?
he replaced all
Okay.
the door lock.
Okay, all the doors. Okay. The reason I ask is because I remember that happening to my car, where we got to the point there was only one door that would actually unlock from the outside, and so my brother came and he just put some. It's called WD-40. It's kind of a cleaning solution for that kind of stuff, and he
Yeah.
sprayed it in there, and I had no problems after that. So. Thank God for brothers. Carlina, Anna Carlina, what do you think? Oh no, Carlina, you don't have any brothers, right? Anna Carlina, do you have brothers?
Yes, I have four siblings.
Four
Two
siblings,
brothers.
two
Yeah.
brothers. Aren't brothers a godsend when it comes to helping with things, or is it?
Well, they live far away
Oh,
from
okay.
me.
Yeah. For me, I have two older brothers that will come and help me, and if they can, if their schedule permits. And I just absolutely thank God he gave me three, and two of them are just awesome. So, okay. So when you have a household problem, do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help? So let's start with Ziad. Ziad, what do you do? Do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help?
Yeah, usually when I have a household problem, I try to fix it by myself.
Uh-huh. And are you
So
successful at that?
sometimes yes and sometimes no.
Okay.
I try to help myself by watching like some YouTube videos or reading on Google something to help
Huh?
me.
Okay. Yeah, that helped me once when my toilet was blocked. I learned. Did you guys know that you can take um, the soap that you use in the dishwater for dishes? You take and pour that in the toilet, and wait a few hours, and many times that will unblock your toilet. And I learned that by Googling. So, Greg, when you have a household problem, do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help?
Usually I call for help because this house is rented, so there's
Uh-huh.
no option to make own fixes. And well, usually when there's like a hole in the wall, which is happening here quite frequently, it's some kind of plug here. Because every
Mm-hmm.
time when I moved in, I usually, oh, there's a hole behind this door that I didn't notice. So usually, if my brother come here for some kind of vacation, week or two, he usually make those kind of fixes. He just put something and later use the paint. It's done, and I personally don't do any kind of fixes. Usually, if there's a computer problem, usually I buy new thing. But if there's a water, radiators, electricity, there's no option to actually do it myself, because okay, we can experiment, but if you do something wrong, you pay it for it. That's simple.
Okay, thank you. All right, and David, how about you? When you have a household problem, do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help?
Well, it depends on what kind of problem it is. So, for example, I usually try to do on my own, or like somebody else says, I go online and try to get information. Or I'm a visual person, so I like to watch a video. And most of the time it works, but sometimes it doesn't. So, for example, the other day my cable, my printer was not connected to my cable, so my internet. It's a wireless, and it was working fine in Miami, but I came here, I changed, providers, and it was not working. So I went online, tried to do my thing. It was, plug it in, plug it out, follow the menu, and it was not working. So I called the HP company, and I talked to somebody from India, of course. They're outsourced and everything. And the guy was, he was able to get into my computer. It was impressive, getting to my computer.
Yeah.
He looked for the things to do and he fixed it. But it took a while for him to do it. So I feel like, okay, I'm not such, because you feel like I'm an idiot, right?
Yeah,
so
when you call those guys.
Kind of embarrassing, but say, okay, listen, I told the guy, I'm completely computer illiterate, so can you help me out? And he spent like at least 15 minutes trying to figure out too. So it was not something that is easy to fix. So that made me feel good. And I say, okay, I'm not such an idiot. I'm just,
yeah.
It made me feel good.
Excellent.
Yeah,
good. Right. And Carlina, how about you? When you have a household problem, do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help?
With my sister, we try we try to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your sister and you try to fix it together.
Yeah.
Do you also?
We are both engineers, so we can fix it.
Do you also consult Google as well?
Sometimes.
All right. And Carlos, how about you? When you have a household problem, do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help?
When I have a household problems, actually there are no easy household problems. There are complicated problems. For example, that the roof is broken, or some pipe is broken. It would be a big problem, so I have to call immediately for help. I prefer to have a insurance that cover that kind of inconvenience maybe in the future. So in the best of the case, I call for help.
All right, thank you. And Anna Carlina, how about you? When you have a household problem, do you try to fix it yourself, or do you usually call for help?
It depends on the problem. If I cause the problem, I try to fix myself before tell someone, And I have an insurance as well, but I've never used it. I've never coached them. Usually my husband fix things, and sometimes we call someone. But it's funny. I don't know why we've never coached the insurance.
Yeah. Well, it probably because it increases your payment. So, for me, I am a call for help 100% of the time. It's very rare that I will try to fix something by myself. And I think it's just because maybe I just don't trust myself. I've never been good with tools, and I guess I can fix, like, I have fixed the toilets when the toilet's plugged and stuff. But if it's major, I don't touch it. I just call the professionals, or I will call my brothers. That's why brothers are so valuable. So if you guys are a brother and you have a younger sister, take care of her well. So I do believe in myself, David, but I also know my own limitations. so
I was just joking.
I know. So when I tried to put something on my wall last week or a couple days ago with a hammer and a nail. And the nail was crooked, and the thing I tried to hang up would not stay. So I'm like, okay, I guess I've got to come up with some other solution. So I'm going to try to talk a friend into helping me do that. So, but anyway, I know my limitations, and I can do stuff. I waited a week, almost 2 weeks, but I finally put the VCR and stuff together. So yeah, David, that's what brothers are for. Totally. Totally. If you can get them to do that, if I were married, probably they wouldn't help me as much. But since I'm not, they're good brothers. So let's complete the sentences below using the verbs in their correct form. So we have lock, which is already used, leave, let, mislay, run out of, and spill. So number one, let's see, Zayed, could you read that one? It's already got the answer, so it's the easiest one here.
I can't get in the house. I have locked myself up.
Have you guys ever done that? I'm the only one.
No.
It happened to me once too. So.
Okay. And it's happened to you, Carolina?
Yes, because I have two doors. The garden door and the house door. So I forgot in the house, into my home, the keys. So I stay between the two doors. And my parents was working, and my sister and the university. So I have to wait for any of them, maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Okay. And I was at home, and I wasn't really dressed that well. I think I had a t-shirt and sweats on, and it was last maybe November. So it wasn't too cold, but it also wasn't very warm. And my sister had asked me to pick up her daughter from the bus stop at about I think it was about 2:30 or 3. And so at probably about 1:45 or 2, somebody came to the door, and it was a delivery man, and so I signed for it, and the dogs were just going so crazy. I shut the door, and then I realized that the door was locked. And so I was like, oh no. So I walked down to my brother-in-law's place of work, and hoping he had a key, and he was not there. So I then called my mom, who lives in the same town, and she was out of town.
Oh no!
And here I had like no clothes on really. And so but I knew I had to pick up the baby girl from the bus stop, and so I picked her up, and as we were walking home, I said, okay, we're going to go over to your grandma's house, because my mom does not lock her doors. She does not carry keys at all. And but then I realized, baby girl is small enough, she can climb through the doggy door. So that's what she did, and I would have missed a verbling class if she had not climbed through the doggy door. I would have missed my class, but thankfully I was able to get in. But it's amazing the adventures we go through in life. So
I can see you doing that.
Yeah. Totally, I'm such a space case. Like leaving for the weekend with my computer to work with and not taking my power cord. So I just got the notification saying I have 19 minutes left. So
Well,
anyway.
in my case, it was kind of funny because I was living in a friend's house. I was house sitting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, I like myself out. So I knew that I can, there was a tree close to the window on the second floor. So I climbed up the tree and I was getting into the window, to get into the house. And the neighbors came around because they didn't know me. So the neighbor, like three neighbors came over, three women came over and they started screaming at me, "What are you doing there? Get down!" They thought that I was trying to steal something, to rob the house.
Yeah.
So and I because I was nervous, I started laughing and I said, "It's all right. My friend's name is Maria. I said, I'm Maria's friend. It's all right. Get out of the house." So I get into the house and I say, "It's all right. I know Maria. You can call her up if you want to now." She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's not so fine." But I was. They get mad because I was laughing, because I was nervous.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Wow. So, all right. Well, it looks like we are actually out of time, and I hope to see you guys all in another class sometime. Thank you very much for your participation, and we'll see you later. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye.